Greetings to all, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ and welcome to the session 3 of Unit 1 Theory of Metal Cutting from the subject Machine Tool Technology for 4th semester Diploma of Mechanical Engineering 15 ME 43T. Myself Muhammad Imran, lecturer in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Government Polytechnic, Dharwad. So in the today's session, we are discussing the following content: the cutting tool, classification of cutting tool, single point cutting tool, geometry, machinability of metal. So cutting tool, as you know, the cutting tool is used in all the machine tools. So it is used to remove the metal from the workpiece. So the tool which are used in all the machines for the purpose of cutting the metal to the desired shape and size, it is called as cutting tool. So some the machine tool may have single point cutting tool, and some machine tool has multi point cutting tool. What are those single point and multi point cutting tool? Let us discuss the classification of the cutting tool. The cutting tool is mainly classified as single point cutting tool and multi point cutting tool. The single point cutting tool is one which is having only one cutting edge which is in action at a time during machining. So these tools are used in lathe, shaper, planer and boring machine. So single point cutting tool has a only one cutting edge. So here you can see this is a single point cutting tool. It may be having two cutting edge here, but during machining the only this one cutting edge will be in action. Either this cutting edge will be used or this cutting edges will be used. That means the condition is that only one cutting edge will be action at a time. Simultaneously the two cutting edges will not be used. Either this cutting edge will be used or this cutting edge will be used or this cutting edges will be used. If you are using only one cutting edge at a time during machining process, then it is called as single point cutting tool. It is having only one cutting edge maybe, or if you are having more than one cutting edge, all the cutting edges are not used simultaneously. So here multi-point cutting tool means which is having more than one cutting edges. You can see in the multi-point cutting tool that this is a milling cutter. It is having these all are cutting edges. So it is having more than one cutting edge in action simultaneously at a time. That means during machining, more than one cutting, the machining takes place from more than one cutting. It will revolve, so all the cutting edges will be in action. So that will be removed. So if more than one cutting edges will be acted simultaneously during machining, then it is called as multi-point cutting tool. So example of multi-point cutting tool are this milling cutter, drilling tool. You can see a drilling cutter tool here, and the reamer in the broaching, etc. So these are the difference between the single point and the multi-point cutting tool. You can see the single point cutting tool consists of only one main cutting edge that can perform the material removal action at a time. So the single point cutting tool may be having more than one cutting edge. See, it is having one, two cutting edges, but during machining, only one cutting edge will be in action at a time. So example is the turning tool, shaping tool, planing tool, plotting tool, boring tool, like that. So multi-point cutting tool, as I explained earlier, the multi-point cutting tool contains more than two cutting edges that is simultaneously engaged in cutting action. So more than one cutting edge is simultaneously engages in the cutting action, then it is called as multi-point cutting edge. Example is milling cutter, reamer, broach, or grinding wheel and horn. So this is about the difference between single point and multi-point cutting tool. So these are some main difference between single point and multi-point cutting tool. So in the single point cutting tool, it is easy to design and fabrication because there is only one cutting edge. It is very easy to design and sharpen because there is only one cutting edge. If it is a tool is wear, you should have to grind only maximum 1 to 2 cutting edges. So it is easy to design and easy to fabricate. and comparatively cheaper. So it is compared to multi-point cutting tools, this is very costlier. Uh, this single point cutting tool are very cheaper. It can be easily available in the market for a low budget. So high tool wear rate. Why this high tool rate? Usually you must know why, because the cutting force, all the cutting forces will be acting on the one cutting edge. See, because there is only one cutting edge will be in action. All the cutting forces will be acting on the one edge. That's why it is acting on the, all the cutting force will be acting on the smaller area. That's why the tool wear is high. So the shorter tool, since the tool wear rate is high, obviously the life of the tool is shorter. High cutting temperature, because there is a high cutting force and high plastic deformation, high friction will be formed in one cutting edge. There will be a lot of high temperature will be generated, that will lead to decrease the efficiency of the overall machining. Thermal damage and the low metal removal rate, because the cutting action takes place in only one cutting edge. The metal removal rate is very slow compared to the multi-point cutting tool, because it will remove from one more than 2-3 now multiple number of cutting edges will be action. So the metal removal rate is high, but here the metal is removed from only one cutting edge. Therefore the metal removal rate is MRR is very low productivity. Then small chips load per tooth. So all the two here in the multi-point cutting tools, all the cutting edges will remove very small number of it, but more than one cutting edges will be in action. Facilitates is the higher speed and feed and depth of cut. So since it is having more than one cutting edge, it can facilitate for giving high speed, feed and depth of cut. But whereas in single point cutting tool, we cannot give more depth of cut and high speed, because it is having only cutting edge. There may be a failure of cutting tool if you give more depth of cut and speed. So high metal removal rate and productivity as usual, because of more than one cutting edges is in action, the metal removal rate is higher. Reduced tool wear, as the cutting forces will be shared by all the cutting edges compared to this single point cutting tool, whereas the cutting force will be act on only one cutting edge. Here the cutting force will be shared by all the cutting edges. Therefore the longer tool wear, reduced tool wear will there, and it will increases the life of the tool. Lower cutting temperature, complicated design and fabrication. So since it is having n number of design, it is no, you can see the what is the design of milling cutters and also this drill bits and reamers. It is having very complicated design, very difficult to design it, and it requires very care for during the manufacturing process of these cutting tools. And fabrication and also sharpening of the tool is also very difficult compared to the single point cutting tool, and it is very costlier and inherently intermittent cutting. So cutting will take place not continuously, because after one, if you take a milling cutter, after one cutting edge is in action, it will take some time to engage the other cutting edges into the action. So there is a intermediate gap between the two cutting edges. So these are the difference between single point and multi-point cutting tools. So the advantages of single point cutting tool. So as I discussed here, design and fabrication of single point cutting tool is very simple and less time consuming. The tools are comparatively cheaper. So this is the advantages of single point cutting tool. Whereas the disadvantages of single point cutting tool is the single point cutting edge is continuously remain in physical contact with the work material during the machining. So the tool wear rate is high, as because the cutting force acts on the only cutting one cutting edge. Due to continuous contact rate, rise in tool temperature is high. This leads to decrease the tool life. High temperature rise may plastically deform the tool tips, that can lead to poor accuracy in machining. Since only the one cutting edge takes place the entire depth of cut, for a pass, the metal removal rate is much lower, thus the productivity is poor. Next, the geometry or the nomenclature of single point cutting tools. Single point cutting tool geometry. So you can see here. So this is the single point cutting tools. It consists of number of geometries. You can see here. You can see here. This is shank, nose, face radius, cutting edge, side rake angle, end relief angle, lip angle, shank, base. So these are you have studied this rake angle. So what will happen if you increase or decrease the rake angle? That will lead to the formation of continuous chips and discontinuous chips with this rake angle. So these are the geometry has to be considered while designing during the manufacturing of this single point cutting tool. So these are the angles you have to be carefully have to be designed while machining or while manufacturing this kind of single point cutting tool. So let me discuss all the components, all the parts of this single point cutting tool one by one. You can see here. So first point is first part of the tool is shank. You can see it is the body of the tool which is not grained is known as shank. So you can see here. So this portion, everything you can see it is tapered here and which is matching here. It is some it is having some depth here, but this portion is untouched. So this portion of the untouched or grained, it is not grinded. So this portion of grained portion of the tool is known as this shank. So what will happen? If you use this tool continuously, this tool will wear and this will come up to here. Then the shank portion will be grinded again. So it is having a long portion. So since the tool wear continuously, the shank portion are used for cutting edge purposes. So that's why it is left without grinding, so that when the tool wear happens, so this shank portion will be used for cutting edges. The face, the surface over which the metal slide is known as face. So here you can see this is the face. So when this cutting edge is in action or this cutting edge will action, the chip flow over this surface. Either if this cutting edge will be in action or this cutting edge will be in action, whatever the chip flows on this place. The face, the surface upon which the chip flows, then it is called as that face is called as that surface is called as face. So this is the face here. So chip flows on this surface. The flank, the cutting tool surface is facing the work metal is known as flank. So there are two types of flank, end flank and side flank. So the cutting tool surface facing the work metal. So if the cutting action takes place with this edge, so this is the surface which is facing the work surface. So if the cutting edge takes place from this edge, then this is the surface which is facing the work surface or work material. So these three surfaces, the three surfaces are there. So these surfaces is called as flank. The surfaces which is facing the cutting work surface workpiece during machining is known as flank. So if this cutting edge takes place with this edge, then this is the flank face. If this is taking place with this cutting edge, then this will become flank face. And if this cutting edge takes place with this edge, then this portion is known as flank. The base, the bottom surface of the shank is known as base. So here you bottom the bottom portion, this portion, the downward, then it is called as, you can see here, this surface is called as base. You can see here, this surface is bottom portion of the shank is called as base. So nose, so nose is, it is the junction of side and end cutting edge is known as nose. The junction of side and end cutting edge. So this is the side cutting edge, and this is the end cutting edge. This is the end cutting edge and this is the side cutting edge. So junction of this, where these two cutting edges will join, this portion is called as nose. You can see here the nose. The radius of this nose is called as nose radius. Nose radius. So that is a combination or intersection of this side end cutting edge and the side cutting edge. Then this point is called as this nose. Okay, the radius is maintained here. So this radius is called as nose radius. This is also one of the important geometry of the single point cutting tool. So next is heel. It is the intersection of flank and the base of the tool. It is a curved portion at the bottom of the tool. So it is the intersection of flank. So what is the flank? These are the flanks. The intersection of this flank and the base of the tool. So this is the flank and this is the base of the tool at the bottom portion, then it is called as heel. So this is the flank surface, intersection of the flank surface and the base of the tool. This is the base. So this portion it is called as heel. Okay. Next, the various angles. So the single point cutting tool having various angles. So these are very important for getting different kinds of chips. We have side cutting edge angle, end cutting edge angle, side relief angle, end relief angle, back rack angle, side rake angle. So side cutting edge angle. So you can see here, side cutting edge angle is this one, side cutting edge angle. So the angle, this is the angle between the side cutting edge and the side of the tool shank. So this is the shank now. So the angle between the side cutting edge. So this is the side cutting edge here. This is the side cutting edge, and the side of the tool shank. Side of the tool shank is this one. You can see here a line drawn, a straight line drawn from this and this taper line here. This line is taper here. Now the angle between these two lines is known as side cutting edge. This is the angle between this side cutting edge from the shank. A line drawn, straight line drawn from the shank. If you draw a straight line from the shank here, and angle, this is a taper line here, and this angle between these two lines is known as side cutting edge angle. End cutting edge angle, you can see here, this is the end cutting edge angle. This is the angle between the end cutting edge. End cutting edge is this one, you can see here. This is a taper line. If you project this, you will get a taper line because it is a taper here. So, and the angle between the end cutting edge and a line normal to the shank. Normal, the shank is this one, and normal to the shank is this one. From this point you draw a straight line, that is normal to the shank, that is normal to the shank here. So this line is taper here. So you draw a straight line normal to the shank, you will get a straight line here, and this angle is, this line is taper here. So the angle between the side cutting edge and a line drawn parallel to the shank portion here, then you will get some angle. So that angle is known as end cutting edge angle. This is the end cutting edge angle, taper line and a straight line from here. How to measure this means you have to draw a extension line from this cutting edge. This is end cutting edge, and from the start point you have to draw a line parallel to this shank portion. You will get a straight line here. So the angle whatever comes here, that is called as end cutting edge angle. Next, the side relief angle. The angle between the portion of the side flank immediately below the side cutting edge and line perpendicular to the base of the tool, measured at right angle to the flank. You can see here, from these two lines, you can see here, this line, it is the side relief angle, is the angle between the portion of the side flank. So this is the side flank here, side flank immediately below the side cutting edge. So immediately below side cutting edge is this one, below here. So line drawn from here to this right, and a line perpendicular to the base of the tool, and a line perpendicular to the base of. So this is the base. If you draw a perpendicular line to the base, you will get a straight line here, and this line. So angle between these two lines is known as side relief angle. The end relief angle, it is the angle between the tool and the between the tool and the measured at right angle to the back. End relief angle, you can see here. Side relief angle here. End relief angle, you can see here, a line, straight line from this edge to the this edge. You can see here, this is the end relief angle from this edge here, It is defined as can, uh, it is the angle between the tool and measured at the right angle to the end of the flank, and the back rake angle. So back rake angle you can see here. This is the angle between the tool face. Angle between the tool face. This is the tool face here. The tool face and the line parallel to the base of the tool. See, this face is usually it is somewhat inclined. So a line drawn from this one to the face to the line parallel to the, and a line parallel to the base of the tool. So line parallel to the base of the tool, this is the base. A line parallel to the base of tool, and this taper is known as back rake angle. Okay. Line parallel to front, you will get a straight line here. This cutting edge face angle is always inclined. So if you draw two lines here, you will get some angle. That angle is known as back rake angle. Side rake angle, it is the angle between tool face and the line parallel to the base of the tool, measured in a plane perpendicular. This is the end rake angle, you can see here. Side rake angle, this is the side rake angle. A line perpendicular to the base of the tool, and a line drawn from the face of the tool. This is the face here. So line drawn from the face of the tool, a straight line from parallel to the base of the, perpendicular to the base of the tool. Again, this is the straight line and this is the angular line. So angle between these two lines is known as side rake angle. So this is about the various geometry of the single point cutting tools. So you have to go through it each and every time. It feels a little difficult, but if you keep on studying, it will be easier to understand. So everything, whatever if you feel missing, you go with this figure. You can easily understand the various angles. At the first time, it is looks very difficult, but if you keep on observing all the geometries here, you come to know all these rake angles. These angles, these geometries are very important during the design of this single point cutting tool. Next is the machinability of the metal. So what is machinability? So the machinability is easy with the metal can be cut, machined, permitting the removal of metal with satisfactory finish at low cost. It means how easily the metal will remove the metal will allow to remove the metal from the surface with a higher surface finish and with a satisfactory finish at a low cost. It should be a low cost. The material is removing, but taking a lot of time, lot of effort. It is giving a good surface finish. It is removing the metal, but taking long time, or giving extra attachment or extra some these things that will lead to increase the cost. That is not called as machinability. So machinability is such that it will give it will allow to remove the material easily from that surface with a satisfactory surface finish tolerance, and it should be at a very low cost. Then it is called as machinability. So the materials with good machinability, the machining materials, requires little power to cut. That means it should require low power for the removal of material. So the machining, the material with good machinability is having it should use lower power to cut the metal, should, and can be cut quickly and easy to obtain good finish, and do not wear the tool much. The chip flows on the tool face, making an angle. So the materials is said to be having good machinability. How you say that a material is having good machinability means, so it should give the material to be easily removed from the workpiece with a lower power, and it can be quickly removed, allowed to remove the material from the surface, and it is very easy to obtain the good surface finish, and you should not wear the tool very much. So if you have all these characteristics, then it is said to be, the metal is said to be having good machinability. So it varies, the different materials have different machinability index. So depending upon the materials and the tools used, the machinability of is depends. So let me discuss what are the factors that will affect the machinability of the metal. So these are the some factors which affect the machinability of the metals. What are those? First one is the type of workpiece and the material of the workpiece. Usually, if you use the ductile materials, it is having a good machinability, because ductility means what? It is the ability of the material that can be formed to continuous wire. So that will give smooth removal of material without and giving good surface finish, because it is having less obstruction. So if you use various the brittle material like cast iron, maybe graphite, it is having a flakes. So that way that will not give good machinability. It is very hard, very difficult to remove the material from the this brittle materials. It requires high tool wear, and requires extra attachment, or it should require much power. So the torque will be more and the power will be more. So depending upon the material of the workpiece used, the machinability will affect. Okay, so brittle material and ductile materials will give different machinability. So the type of tool material used, it is also very important. The material used for designing or making the tool also affects the machinability of the metal. You have different tool materials like cobalt, like high speed steels, carbon steels, and tungsten, ceramics, everything. So every material has its own machinability index. Some machine tools are having good machinability, whereas some are having less machinability. So depending upon those tool materials, the machinability of the metal varies. Size and the shape of the tool. So earlier we have studied about the nomenclature or geometry of the tool. So if you vary the various angles, you can see the discussed earlier. It may be side relief angle, it may be end relief angle, rake angle. If you vary all these geometry, it also affects the machinability of the metal. Cutting condition such as speed, depth of cut, cutting speed. So this machinability also varies with the speed, depth of cut, and cutting speed. You cannot expect a good machinability if you give a high depth of cut. So if you get a good machinability, you should have to give low depth of cut and high cutting speed. If you go more depth of cut and also if you give more depth of cut, then you have to decrease the cutting speed. So these are conditions to get the good machinability. The cutting fluid. Cutting fluid is very important factor in the machinability of the metal. So if you want to increase the machinability, you must use cutting fluid. What is this cutting fluid? These cutting fluids are the lubricants used for machining. What is the purpose of the cutting fluid means? So you know that when there is a physical contact between the tool and the workpiece, there will be a friction and there is a lot of heat will be generated. This heat generation will affect the efficiency of the overall efficiency of the machining. So in order to avoid that, the cutting fluids will be used. So that cutting fluids will take away the heat generated in the friction surface and allows and form a thin layer, so that there will be a smooth machining process will take place, and also there is a decrease in temperature. The generation of the temperature will decrease. It will increase the tool life and also improve the overall efficiency of the machine tool. So cutting fluid also affects the machinability of the metal in a high point. So characteristics of machine tool use. So if you use older machine with a lot of disturbance, so you cannot expect good machinability. So the machining factor also affects the condition of machine, how rigid this machine, how old is machine, how efficient is it, how the maintenance of that machine. If you are using a new machine, it will give good machinability, whereas if you use old machines, that will give low machinability. Similarly, if you use the average machine, it will give the average machinability. So the condition of the characteristics of the machine is also affects the machinability of the metal. So these are all the factors that will affect the machinability of the metal. What is machinability? It is the ability of the it is the easy with which the material will be removed from the workpiece. It's a condition that it should use less power and should give a good surface finish and low power consumption and with a low cost. So then it is called as a good machinable material. So factor affecting that those are this workpiece material, tool material, and the size and shape of the tool, cutting conditions, cutting fluid, and characteristics of machine tool used. So we'll say end up with the session to this. So just brief what we have studied today. We have studied about cutting tools. The cutting tools are those which are used for removing the metal from the workpiece in all the machine tools. The cutting tools may be a single point cutting tool and a multi-point. The single point cutting tool having only one cutting edge in action during machining, whereas in multi-point cutting tool, more than one cutting edge will be in action during machining. Example of single point cutting tool is lathe tools, and whereas this multi-point cutting tool is milling cutter, drill bit, reamer, etc. So the single point difference is that it is easy to design and fabrication, higher tool wear because only one cutting edge will be action. The tool wear is higher, whereas the tool wear is lesser. The metal removal rate is very lower in single point cutting tool, whereas metal removal rate is higher. The longer tool life in case of multi-point cutting tool because the cutting forces will be shared by all the cutting edge, whereas the cutting force will be acting on only one cutting edge. Temperature generation is also high, and also the tool life is also less in case of single point cutting tool. So from the geometry of this cutting tool, single point cutting tool, we have shank, face, flank, base, nose, and heel. So this is the shank, and this is the face upon which the face is one upon with the chip flows. This is the face here, and the flank you have this one, the face surface which is facing towards the workpiece. This may be if you this cutting edge will be action. This is the flank. This cutting edge will be action. This is the flank. Similarly, this cutting edge will be action, and this is the flank surface. Base. So the bottom portion of the shank is known as face. Nose is the intersection of side and end cutting edges is called as nose. The radius generated here is called as nose radius. And various angles you have studied here. This is side raying angle. This is end cutting edge angle. This is side relief angle. This is clearance end relief angle. Back rake angle. Nose radius, etc. We have studied earlier in machinability. So thank you for watching the video. We'll come with the next session.